we are going to start in a minute. Before we start the test meeting, so please unmute all your audio. So actually, I please mute all the audio. So I firstly mute the all video right now. So I don't think you can enable the mute by yourself. So right now, so I'm going to explain why. And also I think that we'd better have video for each other. So please turn on your video. And I think that may be better for interaction and communication. And also this class will be recorded. So please expect recording the video. Okay, thanks so much for your participation. I'm Jeongkyu. I'm organizer of the Anyone Python with you guys for next 5 weeks, the first. So I'm very glad to host this program. So actually, I didn't have any detailed plan for this program. Actually, when I work around my neighborhood, just like you, during the pandemic, stay at home. So I got this idea, then it took just several days to start this program. So pretty much the next week, when we start the first class, I'm going to introduce more details of this program if I get more information or idea. So today is just the testing the class, because a lot of the people who sign in this program didn't use the Zoom before. So I'd like to give for those who didn't, who are not familiar with the Zoom. So this is a good time to test what you guys to know about Zoom and what you can do to interact with people or me or the TA and so on. So right now I mute all of you, but just in case, I'm going to allow each of you to enable, which means to unmute your audio. But I strongly suggest all of you to mute if you don't need to speak. So please mute all your audio. So that is the first thing that you probably encounter when you are using the Zoom. So it will be messed up. So right now I have 100 students who registered this program and another 80 students who are waiting for this program, which I didn't expect before I start this program. So please mute all your audio for easygoing. And today is just the test session, test class, but I'd like to just explain what is our policy when we are going to have the Anyone Python program with the Zoom. So I'm going to share the screen.
Now we're unmuted.
muted.
Okay, right now you are able to see my screen. So during the Anyone Python class, I pretty much use the shared screen. Sometimes I'm going to share my desktop. Also, sometimes I'm going to share my iPad for the kind of lecture. And sometimes the Python program, the IDE. So if you do not know what is IDE, don't worry. So we will go over everything from next class. So today's session will be very short, like 10 to 20 minutes, maybe less than 20 minutes. So before each class, before you join each class, you already create the Zoom account. So you right now in the as a participant of the test Zoom meeting today. And also every time I'm going to ask all of you to sign in the Zoom, then I can identify who is whom. Because one of the main problem of using the Zoom is you probably heard about the Zoom bombing or something the unexpected participant to the abuse the Zoom. So I really worry about the abuse of Zoom. So because the class is open for almost public, so please follow my guidelines. So you should sign in the Zoom. Then I'm thinking to share the link every week because of there is the same reason to prevent any abuse this class. So please check the Zoom link that I'm going to send out 1 or 2 days. Probably Monday, I'm going to send out the link for the week. Then please join the class 5 minutes before the class hour. So I probably lock the class once we start the class begin, like the 10 minutes after class begin, I'm going to lock the classes. So if you are late longer than 10 minutes, so you may not be joining the class. Also, as I said, please mute all your audio, so that can help to manage such a big class. So otherwise, you probably heard before. So if you unmute your audio, sometimes the background music and the pad is the bothering your class, everything will be happen. Please keep in mind mute your audio. Then this is the very strict rule. Please use your full name. Okay. So I know you don't want to share your name sometimes, but this is the class for the Python. So at least I should know who is whom. So then I can prevent any abuse of Zoom class. So please use your full name. So otherwise you will be kicked out. So I have 2 TA. So they will monitor your name. And also please turn on your video. Even though you don't want to share the face, but otherwise no way to identify the authorized user. So please turn on your video. That will be another thing. So you will be kicked out. So if first time the TA will give the warning, so please turn on your video, or please change your name as a full name. So second time, so you will be kicked out, and so you are not able to come back during the class. Okay, so please turn on your video, and also please use your full name. Then if you have, I know that you have a lot of questions, so there will be 2 types of class. So one is like this one, we are going to meet in one main classroom. So then at the time, I'm not going to take any question using audio, because it will be messed up and that takes a much longer time. So if you have any question during the main class, so one classroom, the main class, so you can use the chat box. So if you do not know how to use the chat box, from the Zoom, from the Zoom, the Windows, the menu, so you can find the chat, the menu, then you are able to send a message. You can always share, you can always ask the question to public. Don't be shy, don't be afraid that this class is just from the bottom, the beginning, so nobody blame you, or you don't have to be ashamed. So please, then your question may be very, very useful for the others. So please ask the question to the public, not private question. So then I probably cannot answer your question, but if needed, I can answer during my class or the lecture. But otherwise, the 2 teaching assistants The one is Unji, another one is Trini. They will answer using chat box also. That is the question during the main classroom. And from time to time, we will have the breakout room. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to split the 100 students into 3 groups. So we may have, so that's the reason I asked you to send the Zoom account. So your Zoom account will be used for splitting the group of this class into the 3 breakout room. So then if the breakout room is started, so you can use your audio by raising your hand. If you do not know how to raise your hand, so you can also find the way from the menu. Then I think that you need to go to participant. Then you can raise your hand. Then the one of me and the 2 TA will be in charge of each the breakout room. Then we will take care of the question at the time. So please use raise a hand during the breakout room. Then also you can ask through the chat box. So mostly the breakout room will be used for the training or something more like the programming and the exercise such activity. So the main room will be used for the mostly lecture. So we will see what's going on. Even I thought about, I actually expect 10 to 20 students for this program. But once I start the registration, right now I have around 180 students. So I need to think about the efficient way to manage such a big class. So please follow such a guideline. So one more time, please mute during the class your audio. Then the second thing is use your full name. Otherwise, you will be kicked out. And also the third thing is please turn on your video, your camera, then we can identify who is whom. Otherwise, it's also you will be kicked out. So once you are kicked out, then no way to come back because I'm going to lock this classroom 10 minutes after class begin. Then while you are using Zoom, so Zoom is communication method. Then mostly we are going to use the 2 things during the class. One is the browser. So I'm going to use the browser a lot. So either Chrome or Safari should be open. Then you can back and forth between the Zoom and the web browser if needed. Also, I like the Google search, so we are going to use the Google search a lot. So because we do not have any material, we do not use any textbook, we do not have any PowerPoint file, we are going to just taste what is the computer science, what is the programming, and what is the Python, something like that at the time. So definitely we need help. So I cannot teach all of you completely. So I don't think so. Instead, I'd like to get the help of the Google, the search. So I'm going to share my experience, how I can find the solution using such a Google. So please use the web browser, either Chrome or Safari. Anything is fine as long as you are able to access the Google. Then another thing is the PyCharm. So PyCharm will be the software that we are going to use in this Anyone Python program for Python programming. So if you do not know what is a PyCharm, and right now, don't worry. So we will cover the details, how to install, what is that, and how we can use for the Python programming. So 3 things should be enabled. So one is Zoom, definitely to join the classroom. Another one is web browser. And the third one is a PyCharm. So once after you install the PyCharm program, then so you should be you should be able to the back and forth. Sometimes Zoom, sometimes PyCharm, sometimes web browser. It's also a good idea that if you had the screen, that will be helpful. Right now I'm using the 2 screen, actually 3. So then if you have the tablet, so tablet can be used for Zoom, and you can open your laptop, and also you can use your cell phone for Zoom and so on. So, but I do not know exactly any restriction to use the breakout session. Breakout session sometimes it's not allowed for the cell phone. So I will figure out, but you can use multiple device for this program, but you don't need any textbook. After the class, I'm recording this session right now. This will be shared for the student in the waiting list. Also, I do not know right now whether I'm going to share this one for public. Anyway, this is a free program. I want as many students and the people possible to get the experience of the Python. So, but I don't want to share the bad quality or the messed up the video. So, but at least this video will be shared with you and the student in the waiting list. Then, I don't think right now, so far, any assignment or homework, but in case any activity that we planned, but we couldn't cover in an hour. So if there's any leftover things, so please complete after the class. Then in rare case, I'm going to give the homework or assignment at the time. Please complete the homework. But mostly I hope there's no assignment, no homework, and no extra activity. So I'm thinking to finish everything within an hour during the class. Then if you need it, if you don't understand what I'm saying, I usually talk very fast. So I'm trying to as slow as possible. But if you couldn't understand what I'm saying, or it's so bad, so fast that the Professor Lee is talking about or explained, so you can watch the recorded video if you need it later. Okay. So that's all the thing what I prepared for. I think that this might be the first and last presentation file that we are going to use throughout the Anyone Python. So as I email you, so it's probably the seasonal program. So I'm thinking first season will be ended by I think the first week of June. So I'm thinking kind of the 5 weeks program for the first season. So that's what I prepared for the test meeting. So you can check. So less of time that if you want, you can ask a question. Let me if you have any question, you can ask. You can unmute the audio by yourself. So this is an informal test meeting. So you can ask, and also you can ask through the chatting box. So oh, by the way, so Trinity, are you there? So let me check yeah, you can unmute and introduce yourself.
I'm not sure if this is showing, but hello, I'm Trinity. I'm
I
one
can
of the
see you.
Okay, yeah. I'll be handling the younger kids for this class.
Trinity was my student last year in California, and actually she's right now setting up the business right now.
Yeah, just with
later
my
we
friends.
have a time to introduce.
Yeah,
later. Okay, and we have another TA. So she's Eunji. She's not available right now, but she'll be joining the first class. Then I will introduce her to you. And that's it. I think that you are pretty much ready. So let's enjoy the Anyone Python. Don't be stressful. I don't want to put, it's not like in Korean hagwon or the private lesson. So it's just enjoy. If you don't understand, totally fine. So we wanna just, the main purpose is killing the time under the COVID-19, the pandemic. That's the first goal. Then okay, enjoy and relax. And we have right now, the youngest one is 8 years old, and the oldest one we have 1935, which is 85 years old. So, and also we have the student from Korea and China, and also the mostly California and New York area. So that's it. Thank you, and we will see on Tuesday, 7 p.m. the Eastern time. So you guys can leave, but if you have any question, I will be available next the 10 to 20 minutes. So you can feel free to ask any question if you have. So, but we are going to use Korean, but limitedly. So I mostly like to speak in Korean, but we are going to use it in English for the younger kid. And we have some people from China and also the Chinese community also. Then some local people. So we are going to use the English. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Trini, thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Do you have any questions? If not, I think that we have only the 5 students. So I'm going to end the meeting if you do not have any questions.
The meeting just ends like that? Like,
Yeah,
for
we
now?
are done. So we will see on Tuesday.
Same time, like 4 p.m. or?
Yes, every time
Oh,
there is a
okay.
4 p.m. in Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. But I'm in New York area, probably I'm going to use the Eastern time.
All right. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
예, 감사합니다.
감사합니다. 아우, 영어라 제가 힘들 것 같아요.
아니, 영어가 제가 하는 영어라서 아마 쉬우실 거예요. 저도 뭐 영어를 30 넘어서 쓰기 시작해서 뭐 영어가 플루언트하진 않으니까 거의 한국말 들리듯이 들리실 거예요, 경험상.
저 캘리포니아 계세요?
아, 여기 뉴욕입니다.
오.
코네티컷에 있습니다.
커네티컷 우리 조카.
예.
너무 감사합니다.
아, 별 말씀을요.